Have you ever had the feeling that your body was trying to warn you, but you couldn't quite figure out what it was saying? Now consider this. What if a small change in smell wasn't random at all, but a possible sign of something serious like cancer? It might sound hard to believe, yet your body often leaves quiet hints, and ignoring them can steal time you may not be able to get back. Cancer. One of the most devastating diseases worldwide doesn't always show up with loud, obvious symptoms. Sometimes the earliest signals appear in places people rarely pay attention, to your breath, your sweat, or the way your body odor changes. Think of these shifts as subtle alarms, gently suggesting that something may not be right. Would you notice them? In today's video, we'll uncover 8 cancer-related smells that many people overlook, signals that could play an important role in catching the disease early. This information could truly save a life, so stay with us until the very end. Let's begin. So how could cancer possibly influence the way you smell? The explanation starts with how cancer interferes with normal body processes. As cancer develops, it can disrupt metabolism in small but meaningful ways. That disruption can lead to the creation of unusual chemical compounds. These are called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, and they can change the scent of your breath, sweat, and even urine. Here's what's truly fascinating. Studies suggest that certain cancers such as lung cancer, skin cancer, and bladder cancer can produce specific chemical signatures that the body releases into the air. Most humans can't detect them at all, but trained animals, especially dogs, often can. In fact, trained dogs have identified cancer at early stages with remarkable accuracy, sometimes even before medical tests show anything clearly abnormal. And the story doesn't end with dogs. Researchers are now developing advanced tools designed to imitate a dog's powerful sense of smell. These technologies, often called electronic noses, aim to detect VOC patterns by analyzing samples like breath or sweat. In the future, this could change cancer screening in a major way. Imagine a simple device that could flag potential cancer just by reading your breath. But until these tools become widely available, your own awareness matters more than ever. An unusual odor that persists, one you can't explain, and that doesn't go away, may be more than a strange occurrence. It could be your body pushing you to pay attention and take action. Ignoring subtle warnings can mean losing the best window for early diagnosis and treatment, when cancer is often more manageable and survival rates are at their highest. The idea of detecting cancer through scent may seem surprising, but it's strongly supported by science. Your body is constantly communicating, sometimes through symptoms you can see or feel, and sometimes through changes you wouldn't expect, like shifts in odor with no clear cause. These scent changes may be faint, but they can become life-saving clues when recognized early. So how do you know when something is off? Which odors should raise concern? In the next part of this video, we'll reveal the 8 most common smells that may serve as warning signs for different types of cancer. By staying informed and paying attention to subtle changes, you'll be better prepared to act early, and that can make all the difference. Let's explore these signals together, because early detection matters and your health is worth protecting. 1. The hidden mold, the mouth and throat cancer warning. Mouth or throat cancer is a serious condition that can be difficult to detect in its early stages. One of the most surprising and little discussed signs of this disease is the peculiar smell that resembles mold or rotting wood. This odor is caused by several factors, including secondary infections, tissue necrosis, and the release of volatile compounds from tumors in the mouth or throat. As the cancer progresses, these compounds accumulate and generate the characteristic odor. People around you may notice this smell when talking to someone who has the symptom, as it is most noticeable on their breath. Unfortunately, it is often associated with poor oral hygiene or dental problems, which can delay seeking medical help. The musty odor is often accompanied by other important signs. These include persistent soreness, difficulty swallowing, sores in the mouth or throat that do not heal, white or red spots in the mouth, and even unexplained ear pain. If the musty smell is present along with these symptoms, it is essential to see a specialist such as an oral urology or oncologist. Tests such as biopsies, CT scans, or MR, I can help identify the cause of the problem. Although mouth or throat cancer is a serious condition, its chances of cure are significantly greater when diagnosed early. Therefore, never ignore changes in breath or other unusual signs related to the mouth and throat region. If you notice this persistent smell or other associated symptoms, take action immediately. The earlier the disease is identified, the better the chances of successful treatment. 2. The odor of decomposition is the clue to colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer deaths worldwide, but its early signs are often ignored or confused with common gastrointestinal problems. Among these signs is a change in the smell of feces, which can become much stronger, more persistent, and have an odor similar to decomposition. This unusual smell occurs because colorectal cancer interacts with the digestive process, causing the release of toxins and gases that alter the natural odor of feces. These changes may be associated with incomplete digestion or the accumulation of toxic substances in the intestinal tract. Although it is normal for the smell of feces to vary due to diet or medication, when the odor of decomposition becomes frequent and unexplained, you need to be cautious. This odor may be accompanied by other worrying symptoms, such as blood in the stool, persistent abdominal pain, changes in bowel habits, and unexplained weight loss. One feature that makes colon cancer particularly dangerous is that many symptoms, including changes in smell, only appear in more advanced stages of the disease. Therefore, noticing changes in odor may be one of the few early warnings available before the problem worsens. If you notice persistent changes in the smell of your stool, don't hesitate to see a doctor. Exams such as colonoscopy, stool analysis, or imaging tests can help identify possible abnormalities in the intestine. The good news is that colorectal cancer, when diagnosed early, has a high chance of being cured. Being aware of changes in the body, like the odor described, can save lives. 3. The sweet that scares the smell of breast cancer. Breast cancer is one of the most common diseases among women, but it can also affect men, although it is rare. One of the lesser known and more unusual signs of this disease is the sweet, unpleasant smell that can emanate from the skin or wounds associated with the tumor. This odor occurs especially in more advanced cases of the disease when there are infections or tissue necrosis in the affected area. And cells, when growing uncontrollably, can cause inflammation and local infections, releasing chemical compounds that result in this characteristic smell. Open wounds or ulcers on the breast are often the source of the odor. This sweet smell can be mistaken for signs of simple infections or poor hygiene, but its persistence should serve as a warning of something more serious. In addition to the smell, breast cancer often presents other important signs. These include lumps in the breast or armpits, changes in the texture or color of the skin, abnormal secretions from the nipple, and persistent pain in the region. Any combination of these symptoms, especially accompanied by a sweet and unpleasant odor, requires immediate medical attention. The biggest challenge is that many people ignore the initial signs, believing that it is not something serious. This negligence can delay diagnosis, reducing the chances of successful treatment. Breast cancer has high cure rates when detected early. Therefore, paying attention to the signs, including the characteristic smell, can save lives. If you or someone close to you noticed unusual changes in skin odor or sores in the breast area, seek medical attention immediately. 4. Sulfur in breath is a sign of stomach cancer. Gastric cancer is an insidious condition that often presents with vague symptoms that are difficult to detect. However, one of the most notable signs may be on your breath the smell of sulfur or rotten eggs. This odor occurs due to improper digestion and the release of sulfur gases in the digestive tract. When the stomach is affected by cancer, it cannot process food properly, resulting in the production of volatile compounds with a characteristic smell. Bad breath related to gastric cancer is persistent and does not go away with oral hygiene or changes in diet. It can be confused with minor gastrointestinal problems such as acid reflux or gastritis, but its persistence should serve as a warning. In addition to the smell, gastric cancer can bring other symptoms that reinforce the need for medical attention. These include abdominal pain, a constant feeling of a full stomach, loss of appetite, frequent nausea, and in advanced cases, blood in the stool or vomit. One of the reasons for late diagnosis of gastric cancer is the similarity of symptoms to more common and less serious conditions. The smell of sulfur, although subtle, can be one of the first signs that something more serious is going on. Being aware of this odor and associated symptoms can be the difference between detecting the disease early or when it is already at an advanced stage. If you notice persistent changes in your breath or other digestive signs, see a gastroenterologist for an evaluation. Remember that gastric cancer, when diagnosed early, has more effective treatments and a greater chance of success. 5. The horror of rotten meat. Skin cancer warning. Skin cancer, especially melanoma, is one of the most dangerous types of this disease. It can manifest itself in many ways, and surprisingly, one of the signs can be smell. People with advanced skin cancer often report an odor reminiscent of rotting flesh or something decaying. This smell is the result of cancer cells that begin to necrotize, releasing chemical compounds that cause the unpleasant odor. The smell of rotting meat can appear in open wounds or skin lesions that do not heal. These injuries, often ignored or mistaken for simple bruises, can be the first clue that something is seriously wrong. One of the reasons this signal goes unnoticed is its location. Skin lesions or wounds may be in areas that are difficult to see, such as the back or scalp. Additionally, the odor can be attributed to hygiene problems, common infections, or even the use of certain cosmetic products. Other symptoms often associated with skin cancer include changes in the color, texture, or size of spots and moles. If a spot darkens, grows rapidly, becomes irregular, or begins to bleed, it is crucial to seek medical evaluation. When these signs appear along with the odor of rotting meat, the urgency for a diagnosis increases. Melanoma in particular is known for its high mortality rate when not treated in time. However, early detection can save lives, as treatments have a greater chance of success in the early stages. If you notice a persistent, unpleasant odor coming from a skin wound, don't ignore it. See a dermatologist for a detailed evaluation, even if the smell seems small or insignificant. In the next topic, we will talk about a less common but equally alarming odor: the smell of sulfur or rotten eggs linked to gastric cancer. 6. An alarm and urine. The smell of ammonia from the kidneys. Kidney cancer is a serious condition that often develops silently. However, one of the most unusual clues the body can give is the smell of urine. A strong pungent ammonia odor may be one of the first warning signs. This smell occurs when the kidneys, which have the function of filtering the blood and eliminating toxins, begin to fail. With cancer affecting their function, there is an accumulation of chemical byproducts in the body, such as urea, which generates the characteristic smell of ammonia. It is important to highlight that not every ammonia smell indicates cancer. Urinary tract infections, severe dehydration, and high-protein diets can also cause changes in urine odor. But if this smell is persistent and accompanied by other symptoms, it is essential to investigate further. Symptoms that often accompany kidney cancer include back pain, blood in the urine, intense fatigue, and unexplained weight loss. These signs, combined with the strong ammonia smell, should not be ignored. An additional problem is that people are often hesitant to seek help because they believe the symptom is not serious. However, kidney cancer is more likely to be treated successfully when diagnosed early. Paying attention to changes in the smell of your urine can make all the difference. If you notice this odor associated with other symptoms, or if it appears inexplicably, make an appointment with a doctor immediately. 7. Metal in the air is a danger signal in the blood. The metallic odor is another unexpected sign that can be associated with a serious illness, blood cancer. People with leukemia or lymphoma often report a metallic smell coming from their breath or sweat. But where does this odor come from? It is caused by changes in the levels of iron and other chemical compounds in the blood. When cancer cells interfere with the production or destruction of healthy cells, they also affect the body's chemical balance, generating compounds that result in a peculiar smell. This odor is described as similar to the smell of rusty iron or old coins. It can be noticed mainly in situations of excessive sweating or after light physical activity. The biggest problem is that this sign, as it is subjective and does not cause immediate discomfort, is easily ignored. Most people associate the smell with changes in the environment, diet, or hygiene without realizing that it can be a serious warning that something is wrong. In addition to the metallic odor, leukemia and lymphoma present other symptoms that together form a worrying picture. These include extreme fatigue, persistent fever, recurring infections, and unexplained weight loss. If metallic odor is present along with these symptoms, seeking medical help should be the priority. Leukemia and lymphoma are diseases that can progress quickly, but with early diagnosis, the chances of successful treatment increase significantly. If you notice a persistent metallic smell, especially on your breath or sweat, don't ignore it. Think of it as a signal from your body asking for immediate attention. In the next topic, we'll explore an even more pungent and easily recognizable smell, the odor of ammonia, which can be a critical kidney warning. 8. The sweet nobody wants to smell the smell of lung cancer. Lung cancer is one of the most silent and dangerous forms of the disease. It can develop without showing visible symptoms for a long time, but in some cases there is an unexpected sign: the smell. People with lung cancer may report a sweet, slightly fruity odor coming from their breath. This smell is caused by the release of volatile organic compounds in the lungs. These compounds, generated by the altered metabolism of cancer cells, accumulate and can be detected in the breath. Although this smell is very similar to that of fermented or spoiled fruit, it is different from common bad breath. It does not disappear easily with oral hygiene, and above all, tends to be persistent. Unfortunately, this sign can go unnoticed for months, as it is easily confused with other conditions such as digestive problems or even diabetes. Therefore, it is essential to pay attention if the odor is frequent and without an apparent cause. Lung cancer also tends to present other symptoms that, when combined with the smell, should be investigated. Among them are persistent cough, difficulty breathing, soreness, and chest pain. If these signs are present, it is essential to see a doctor immediately. Lung cancer is one of the most lethal, but it is also one of those with the best chances of treatment when detected early. Therefore, being aware of the sweet and fruity odor on your breath can be a decisive factor in saving lives. Could you ever picture something as simple as a scent becoming the very first hint of a serious disease? Your body is an incredible system, always communicating, sometimes loudly, but often through quiet, unexpected signals. The odors we've talked about may seem harmless at first, yet for anyone who pays attention, they can become powerful, life-saving clues. One of the greatest advantages we have against cancer is early detection. When you notice changes, take them seriously, and respond quickly, you give yourself more time, more choices, and a stronger chance of getting through it. Don't brush off persistent, unusual smells, sudden changes, or symptoms that keep returning. Time matters, and your health deserves your attention. If you or someone close to you is experiencing any of the signs we covered today, don't put it off. Get medical advice as soon as possible. Acting now is not fear, it's care. It's a way of protecting yourself and honoring the people who love you. Life is the most valuable gift we're given, and by staying informed and sharing what you've learned, you can help build awareness and inspire others to take their health seriously. Keep this in mind: your body is speaking every day, and listening is a choice. What will you do with what you've learned? Will you respond, or will you let these warnings fade into the background? Don't wait for later. The moment to act is today. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more health tips and potentially life-saving information. Together we can spread awareness and help more people take charge of their health. Stay informed, stay well, and we'll see you in the next video.